Hi guys, it's Jerry with He Provides Homestead, and I'm so glad that you've come along with us today. Today we're going to talk about some books that have changed my life. So each one of these have a special place for me. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a testimony. For those who know me, I am a very happy, pleasant person. But it has taken a long, hard road to get here. And we are He Provides, which means God provides. And God does provide. And He has provided me with some of the books that I'm going to share with you today to help me heal. So we're just going to jump into this. The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman is absolutely amazing. This has helped me to better love those around me. It has helped me to provide the ability to show them love, to know a little bit more about who they are and what they desire to be loved. So this has really helped me. This is a very easy read. You could read this in about a week. And Gary Chapman has all kinds of books about the 5 love languages. So if you're interested in that, this is fabulous. We have given this to each one of our kids. We've loaned it out to others. Highly recommend it. He provides. The 5 love languages. The next is, we're going to start here. The next is, this is not an easy read, Making Peace with Your Past. About 13 years ago, I was at a very low place in my life, and I decided I had to make some changes. And because God does provide, locally we had a women's center, a Christian-based women's center, that did a Bible study on this book. This book is by Tim Sledge. I'd never heard of him before, and actually haven't read anything from him after this either. But I did a 8-week study of Making Peace with Your Past. It was phenomenal of what I learned about myself, how I learned to forgive myself and forgive others that had hurt me, and with my childhood. So it was amazing. It was a rough read. It was a hard read, but it was so worth it. And probably once about every 3 years, I go back and I go through this again. I've actually given it out to those that are struggling, and I recommend this. Next, Joyce Meyer is one of my favorite authors. I listen to her messages on CD continually. I've got about a 15 to 20 minute drive back and forth to work, and I try to have her available to be able to listen to. Battlefield of the Mind is a book that I read probably about, 16, 17 years ago. And it is all about the mind of stinking thinking. Anybody that knows anything about Joyce Myers will be familiar with that stinking thinking. That there is absolutely a war that goes on in our mind. And every day you have to choose what you're going to think on. If you're going to dwell on the goodness of God or dwell on everything else. And here in our home, we use Speak Life continually. We actually, in our last home, had that written on the wall. To speak life, you've got to have life within you so that it can come out. And this really helped me. We actually found this, I'm sure, at a yard sale or auction somewhere cheap. Battlefield of the Mind, the study guide that goes with it. So, and I read this. I make sure that I read the Battlefield of the Mind once a year. It's an easy read, and it has lots of Bible scriptures that you can look up and understand. And she puts it in a way that helps you to get over a lot of hurts and past things by thinking on the good and not the bad. So that's a great book. Love is a Choice. Love is a Choice. This is all about codependency. And I said I was going to give a little bit of my testimony, and I'm going to, about, I'm trying to think about how old my youngest is. About 17 years ago, I went through a really bad divorce, and it was probably the worst time in our life. And not only for me, but our whole family, it was split apart. And you know, it's really hard to help and to encourage and to love those around you when you're falling apart. And my sister-in-law, who was a total godsend, continually told me, love is a choice, love is a choice, love is a choice. And one day at a yard sale, we found this book, and the title is Love is a Choice. And she bought it for me, and it wasn't even this book. It was a book that had been used. It was almost torn apart, and it was a softback. And since then, I've read it, and I've found others, and I've picked them up. So this is a much nicer edition than the first one I had. But it talks about codependency. And I really learned a lot about who I am, and it's Christian based. There's scriptures to back up codependency on. I never realized I was codependent. It explains what that is and how to overcome it, and how to not be bombarded with those that are codependent, that you're choosing to hang out with and to be a part of their lives. So this book really helped me. It helped me through Jesus Christ to overcome and to be victorious, as you see today. So I recommend this for anyone that's struggling, having a hard time, or for someone that you know. If you can find it, the author is Dr. Robert Hemfeld, Dr. Frank Menerth, and Dr. Paul Meyer. If you can find this, huge recommendation. The next book is not so deep. This is a cookbook that was given to me by a friend. She gave it to me probably 6-7 years ago. And it says favorite recipes from Kappa Kitchens. She was a Kappa, and she is a wonderful cook, and she continued to bring these fantastic recipes to work, and I would talk about how awesome they were. And she finally brought me this, but that's not all. The reason I have this book and it means so much to me is that over the years, the recipes that I really like, the recipes that are my go-tos, I put in here as well and keep them. And I think every kitchen needs to have their own cookbook. I've actually made a cookbook for my daughter when she went into the Coast Guard, and I took a lot of these recipes that I make and I made her own for when she went away, so that she could have the recipes that we shared in our kitchen as she was growing up. So it means a lot to me. If I find recipes that I think, they're the ones that we want to keep, I put them in here so I know where to go to and find them. And with that said, guys, those are my books. That's my book review, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that if you have questions, if you have concerns, if you have other suggestions of great reads, please leave a comment. Let me know. Thank you for coming along with us. Thank you for being a part of our lives. You are able to see us. We don't see you so much, but we do truly feel like you are a part of our lives. So you will find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Vidme, and Pinterest. Godspeed.